I think from the reading that the web of denial is the think tanks, foundations, and fossil fuel funded organizations that spread false information about climate change. Even though most scientists in the IPCC agree on the fact that global warming is a real thing caused by humans, it is still a heavily debated topic in the US because the groups I mentioned earlier have shaped public opinions for many years. I think climate denial is so largely represented because it's now become tied to politics, identity, and as most things are, money. I believe this causes people to reject the scientific facts if they contradict their beliefs or economic interests. The article explains how sociologists like Dunlap, McWright, and Ors X documented how the conservative organizations formed doubts about climate science to protect their profits. Brule and Roberts also talked about how the IPCC and nearly all scientists agree that human-caused global warming exists, but the U.S. is still a very controversial place, as the media and public opinions have been heavily influenced by the climate counter movement. It also talked about how senators are using sociological resources to expose the web of denial groups during their speeches. I've personally known people who will blatantly deny climate change or repeat points that come from the political media. I've heard people say stuff like the climate has always been changing or scientists are overreacting, which matches what the reading was talking about with the idea of false info shaping beliefs. Next, I'll talk about do trucks harm the environment? To answer the author's question, I think people who drive trucks can care about the environment, but they might show it in different ways than what society labels as environmental. The article explained that our relationship with the environment isn't based off what kind of vehicle we drive, but by deeper things like culture and identity. This causes people to judge others based off consumption choices, which creates a hierarchy of environmentalism. Some evidence from the article was how Kennedy and Hamdan found a hierarchy of environmentalism with ideal environmentalists at the top and anti-environmentalists at the bottom. The reading also talked about how people judge one another based off consumption, such as what they drive, buying organic food, or reusing bags. Overall, the author suggests taking down these hierarchies as they will help reduce the amount of conflict among our nation. For me, my relationship with the environment is mixed. I care about things like pollution and climate change, but it's almost impossible to fit every mold that society has made for being a true and good environmentalist. I've seen people judged because they drive a big old diesel truck, and others for using plastic bags at the grocery store. I feel like instead of judging others, we need to stop assuming only one type of person cares about the planet and dissolve the tension so we can really start helping the environment.